Okay, welcome back to my channel, Libra. Just doing a real, this is more specific to money. Just turn the lights on so you can see a little bit better. So I don't know what's been happening in the last little bit here, but it seems like there is, and I don't know what timeline you're on here. This is just a general read. And again, it's a little more, less specific to a specific time frame. If this is your story, this is your story. If it's not, then you can certainly check out the monthly reads that I did. But what I see here for you in terms of money for whenever you receive this message, currently it looks like you need to step back. There is something out of balance here and you need to rebalance before you're going to go forward. I don't know if this is, kind of moving into sort of a bit of a lack mindset or what's happening here, but there's a push-pull in a lot of different areas here. So in terms of your finances, I feel like you really need to step back, look at the big picture before kind of operating in a more robust way here, because like I said, there's some changes or some conflicts or something that you're dealing with here that doesn't seem to be, that seems to be getting in the way, is what I would say there. We've got the cards of the Five of Swords over here at the far direction on the right. And I did pull a few others here as well, but I'll get to those here in a minute. That's the Five of Coins and the Sun. Certainly more optimistic, but again, and the Hermit, but again, the main cards out here still speak to a lot of, you need to pull back and sort of re-strategize here. The Hangman means you're kind of in that mode of trying to regain your position again. So there's something that's kind of in a hold-up mode or a hold-up position. You need to change your perspective. You need to shift out of something here to be able to go forward. You're kind of stuck. I feel like you're feeling stuck. I don't know what's come in here that sort of, held things up, but in some way you're feeling a little bit of constraint here. So again, with that Temperance, you're having to find the middle ground, renegotiate something with yourself or with another, and able to move forward. But it's almost like you need to see the big picture again. Maybe you're getting too lost in the small details. I don't know here, but it is just definitely, and then of course we've got the Hermit here as well further out. So there's definitely an indicator that you need to reassign, some, or resign your thoughts to a little bit more internal work or, consideration anyway, before you kind of step forward into something. The world is definitely speaking to a reward and some kind of prize up ahead. It is a card of success, but it's certainly more of a long-term sort of card of success as well. But it definitely feels like it's, as I say, a longer journey forward. But right now, I feel like your focus is on getting balance in your world before you really manifest this huge change. I feel with again, with that Hangman energy, you're still sort of in a stuck mode, but with the Ten of Coins, whatever this is up ahead, I feel like there is good, strong money sense, like something that's going to be quite, prosperous for you over the long haul. But again, there's something about a Three of Swords moment coming in here. So there's something that's out of balance. There's something that's in the way here. And it could be around a family issue, because that 10 definitely speaks to that. And it certainly speaks to more of an end cycle to a situation. But the conflict is still, it's almost like it's not, it could be an ongoing kind of conflict with the 3, because it's not, and then there's a progression of that going to the 5 of Swords here as well. So it feels like there is definitely sort of a battle of wills. There's definitely some definite conflict for sure around a family front, I would say. Could be in around money here as well, or something that's just somehow impacting your money. But either way, there could be some kind of a separation of something in terms of finances, or a family, member, or something along that line. There's distance, some kind of incompatibility. And again, it feels like there is some kind of a departure of some sort, because when we get to the 5 of Swords, that's a loss. And that definitely still speaks to the same, where there is something that is deteriorating or damaged. So it is some kind of grief or a setback of sorts. So that has impacted your finances, has impacted your stability, or something around family, or whatever family means to you, or whatever stability means to you. But again, there's still more cards here that come in around. When we get to the 2 of Cups, again, there's some kind of significant relationship or significant connection that needs some level of investment with the Seven of Pentacles, before it can really improve. And I would say at this point, it's also a card of stepping back, to assign, or assess the scenario before you can really go forward. There's something about you pausing. You need to pause to get balance before you kind of jump ahead here again. Because even though this is a card of things still looking pretty good and balanced in terms of finances. The Seven of Coins is still the card of re-strategize. Give me another, a little bit of time to figure out where I want to put my money, or give me a little bit of more time to, I guess, kind of finalize details or something like that. Because, like I said, there's still a lot of things that are up in the air here, because in terms of your money, the Temperance card does speak to balance and moderation. So I wouldn't be going too wild with money right at this time for whenever you receive this reading. But there is still that sense that, you're kind of tired of waiting for something here as well. And I would say with the World card, even though you're taking time to kind of get to know, what the direction is here, it still feels like you're tired of it. You're tired of, the conflict or the things that are in the way. It's like, it just feels like it's eternally one thing right after the other. There's always some kind of brush with, something that is either at a distance, in the way, or some cycle that is never fully, allowing you to see up ahead. So there's some kind of a boundary or restriction, something that keeps halting you here with that World energy in terms of your finances. So, whatever you've been waiting for, it's nearly there, but it's also, maybe more than what you would expect, but you're just not in that place yet. You've got to pause and sort of figure out what it is that, is going to fulfill you a little bit more on a broader level. Or maybe you've kind of lost some of the spark that once had for something. And this is you trying to pick yourself up again and find a little bit more, a little bit more vision again, I suppose. But maybe there's something here in the works in terms of a connection, whether this is a business connection or otherwise, that still sort of slowed down the process here as well. So maybe something it hasn't fully come through in terms of support or finance or something with another person here. But either way, the Two of Cups still speaks to cards of there being a strong connection that is going to, whether this is friendly support or whatever, or, finding some kind of agreement or settlement in regards to a situation. Either way, you kind of need this smooth partnership before you can, or this cooperation or this contractual cooperation before you kind of go forward. There needs to be some balance in a particular kind of relationship before you feel balanced enough to go forward. So in terms of money, like I said, this is going to be some kind of long-term financial solution, but it is going to require the input of another and able to kind of bring it to pass, so to speak. So again, you almost need good health in a relationship or good health in a business partnership or whatever to kind of wrestle this into some kind of level of fruition. But I mean, Seven of Pentacles is, seven is still a really good card of, stepping back, but for sure it is still building and strategizing. There's still something to work with here. So, you do have hard work that is going to pay off. It's just that it's not quite in that stage yet. And again, it feels like there's some kind of conflict that's standing in the way. I don't really see progress at this point, at the time that you're checking in on this. Normally, Seven of Pentacles is a card of progress. It can also represent a Taurus that's involved here, but you're stepping back to evaluate your achievements or where you are or how you can get something, moving forward again. You're just, like I said, it's, you have something here, like, because the World card and all of the cards of balance and moderation, you have a really good, strong sense of maybe where you're at in the grand scheme of things, but it just feels like there's still more growth and nurturing that needs to be done. And again, it feels like you need to step back, evaluate something, maybe even in regards to a personal relationship or business partnership or contract before you move forward on something. You have to examine things. I'm not seeing it, examine it on a microscopic kind of level. It's almost like there has been some kind of issue that's arisen that has, created some kind of conflict in, and you're trying to work through a solution is what's happening, is where this is, and that maybe that's why the pause really, because there is a solution that is trying to work its way in here. Sorry, I'm just going to turn my light back on here again. So, like I said, the Seven of Pentacles is, still a card of you are equipped to kind of handle the situation, but you will have to do it from, looking at things from the inside out, so to speak. So you're not going to be able to move this ahead on your own, but you also need to focus on your goal by cultivating some of the, steps. We're not talking about the mastery of the situation yet, but it certainly does require, I would say you're worried about your support levels is what this is seeming to kind of point to. The cards, I'll just pull the other ones out here as well. The cards that kind of fell out here together would be the Five of Coins, the Sun, and we've also got the Hermit. So I do feel like you need more information. You need more information, in regards to something here before you can really move ahead, because the Five, of course, is, hanging on to something where you need to make some progress, so you need to adjust or fine tune something before this change is allowed to kind of come through. The card of the Sun, of course, does speak to it being a very prosperous sort of thing. It's something that's going to give you a lot of faith or, a lot of invigoration. You're going to feel a lot happier, once you kind of reach this stage. But right now, it just feels like you're in a little bit of a disempowered state because you have to come to some kind of agreement or negotiate something and able to feel balanced enough to go through. Again, could be dealing with a Leo, or some kind of level of ego or something along that line. But it definitely speaks to, money that will come in is just, and there's sort of a level of luck as well that's associated with this money that's going to come in. And you will have some kind of earning increase, through whether this is stock or whether this is real estate or whether this is, although I don't specifically see real estate, but either way, it still has to come through in some way that, like I say, however it relates to you, it's going to be different for all of you, but it is still, something that's very positive, and it is some level of success or good luck and something that's going to bring you a sense of fulfillment. So, like I said, there's a pause taking place right now in terms of your finances. It's like something's caused you to be a little out of balance, and now you're having to kind of rebalance, recenter before you go forward. So whatever this is for you, it's going to speak to you all a little bit differently, like I said, but you are going to have to take some distance from others or from the situation, and able to kind of renegotiate with yourself or with the situation, how you're going forward, because you're out of balance in some way here. And again, even in terms of finances, it feels like you're not really focused on the finances at this set. I mean, you are, and yet there's a sense of, I can't focus on them right now, is really what it feels like. It feels like there is going to be benefit, up ahead, and it feels like you have to do some kind of solitary journey here. You have to kind of figure something out within yourself, before you can really activate and go forward financially. Something is holding you up. Something is in the way. It definitely feels like it's around, like it's a conflict for sure. But there's a bit of soul searching that is going to come into play here, because Five of Coins is really that card of, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel like I can make it. I don't feel secure in the direction I'm going now. Something has been a wrench thrown in my plans, that kind of thing. It is some kind of, temporary insecurity, temporary, not, a big card, not a big player. But it definitely still feels like you're changing something and able to move forward again, but you are going to have to change something, or renegotiate something. It is a bit of a tough time or some kind of a setback. Again, it feels like it's more to do with the areas of communication, where you feel a little bit destabilized, and which is somehow also impacting you, financially. You're not seeing how you can go forward. Although there's still some really wise choices here that are being made, like I said, because we've got that Hermit energy, and we've also got, other cards of balance out here. It's just that you're dealing with something where you need to step back and renegotiate something, figure out a new plan. Maybe something has kind of, changed the direction that you were intending to go, and you're having to kind of re-strategize, but it's something along that line. But definitely something has to change, and your communication with yourself probably has to change here as well, because like I say, I mean, there is a need for change. When I see the Five of Swords, you really have to communicate with yourself differently, communicate with a situation differently. You definitely have to make some kind of alterations in terms of your finances. Your position may not be clear. Your position, financially may not be as strong as you were hoping for, but it's moving through some kind of a difficult phase. And I guess the best way to maybe put it again is still, you have to be willing to compromise. And it looks like there has to be some kind of level of a connection with somebody and able for this to go forward. So I don't think things are going to come easily and able for you to make this this choice, but I feel like it is a necessary choice. It doesn't feel like it is a full victory, because the level of compromise is what's required here. And again, it's, also not telling all of your secrets to everybody. This is, kind of withholding something here as well. And again, I feel like your feelings are quite cornered. I feel like you feel a little bit cornered in a situation. And maybe even on the level of someone, like I said, is competing with you on some level here, but it's either way, there's a certain sense of, strategy that's required, because there's just too many cards of, I've just been faced with a conflict. Now, how do I deal with it, is really what's happening there. And again, something didn't click, or some kind of disappointments come in here, financially, that is having to reorient things, and again, it's causing a little bit of upheaval for you. But again, I mean, the Ten of Coins is still the main card out here, so I mean, it is going in the right direction once you get your head clear. But you're going to have to pull away from some, like, renegotiate something here, contract or otherwise, with someone else. Someone else is relevant to this picture. That Ten of Pentacles does still speak to money coming in, does still speak to a lot of good things, but you kind of have to break away from this conflict, break away, make a change, negotiate something here, and then you'll kind of have some, you'll have a little bit more to work with, because right now I don't think you can move something ahead on your own. So step back. You need to step back and able to figure this out. And again, even in terms of finances, with that Ten of Pentacles energy, as great as that is, speaking to inheritance or windfall for some, but because I don't see a whole bunch of other big cards out here on that level, I'm veering away from that, because it feels like it is still something that could be around property or family, something like that, that is in consideration or that is affected, and that's maybe where the conflict stems from. But you just need to strategize. You need to step back. You need to do something with knowledge, or, again, pulling back, get some more information before you can really make this decision. And of course, the outcome will be a positive one. There will be a happy level of fulfillment, but Five of Coins, you're still in that lack mindset, still not quite ready to face something. Negotiate is really what I'm getting here. Step back, reconsider your position, and how you're going forward. You need to re-strategize is what's happening here. So anyway, that's what I have for you, Libra. And again, this is just more of off the cuff read, not specifically for all of you. It's just intended for whoever this resonates for. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Negotiate your situation out, because I feel like it will be favorable, even though right now things are looking as though it's, somebody wants to win at all costs, or there's a stalemate. Nothing is really moving ahead. There is almost some kind of impasse where things are just stuck, feeling stuck. But again, once you are able to renegotiate a situation, get on the same page with someone else, everything should open up. So anyway, that's what I have for you, Libra, for what's coming in more in the immediate. And again, no specific time frame on this, more of a timeless read. Have a great weekend, and I'll probably do a few other reads here in the next short while, but this is what I have for you. Keep moving forward.